Hello and welcome to our final event of the year, the Velocity Institute State of the Industry Summit 2023. My name is Christopher Durham. I'm the president of the Velocity Institute. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been an exciting year this year. I want to welcome you all to the event. If you don't know the Velocity Institute, we are, of course, your global professional industry association. We focus really on retailer-owned brands across all categories and channels. That means we put the retailer at the very center of the world, because without retailers, there is no private brand. And then anyone who would like to help retailers build brands, create products, innovate, uh, get more knowledge in general can also be a member. So if you're not a member of the Velocity Institute, please join today. We'd love to have you. Over the last year, we've had more than 30,000 members, readers, and viewers globally, whether you were at our Vertex events in Amsterdam, here in Charlotte, you watched our YouTube channel, or you read a blog post from our daily feed. We're excited to have you and hope you'll continue to interact with us and be a part of what we do. Thank you very much to start out with for our sponsors. So Damon, MBD Design, and Voci. You'll learn a little bit more about all three later on. So taking the stage today, we have Stacy Sapinka, the VP from Sobeys, Gene Ryan, the VP from Damon, of course, myself. Glenn Pfeiffer is filling in for Pam Ofrey, who had some other duties call her away. And finally, Mary Ellen Lynch from Circana. We like to begin, of course, with doing a little bit of plug for what we're going to have going on in 2024. Right now, we currently have the Vertex Awards open. This is our 11th year. If you have never entered the Vertex Awards, you absolutely should. This is the premier global private brand package design competition, vertexawards.org. Next up, we'll actually have two virtual events right in a row. We'll do a private brand in AI. So if you're wondering what all the buzz about AI is and does it apply to private brand in retail, we're going to address a lot of those questions and probably create some more questions. And then in March, we'll do Innovate 2024, the future of private brand, really focusing on manufacturing and product development. Where are we going? What can we do? What's the future look like? And then we come to our biggest event of the year in May. The Velocity Conference and Expo will again be in Charlotte, North Carolina, May 13th through the 15th. Tickets are currently on sale. You can book your hotel, the whole 9 yards. We also have booths and sponsorships available. They're going fast. So if you're interested, please reach out. See Durham at velocityinstitute.org. We'd love to have you join us. Following that, May 15th and May 27th, we'll do our Vertex Awards. The 15th will be actually at the Velocity Conference here in Charlotte. And then the 27th in May will be Amsterdam. So that's the Monday night of PLMA. Please join us for that. It's a great party and a great way to reward fabulous design from fabulous retailers and agencies. Then we're adding a new event. June 27th, we'll do a virtual Velocity Europe. So completely be on European time zones, European retailers speaking. It's going to be an exciting way to expand what we had been doing prior to COVID. So should be a great event. Then October 22nd through the 24th, our Sustainability Summit will go to Phoenix, Arizona, the home of Sprouts, and Sprouts will be keynoting. You'll be able to buy tickets for those very early in the year, and I'll send out emails for that as well. Then we close our in-person events with the Bold Bash. So if you were there at the Monday night of PLMA in Chicago, this is a giant party of networking, and we buy drinks for everybody and really celebrate the industry. This year, we had more than 350 people. It was a great event. So we're going to move this to a larger venue. We have some great sponsorship opportunities available. We'll go to Joe's Live and have a band, and you can actually, you see they're presented by logo. That could be you. So reach out. There's a lot of cool ways we can do it. We'll launch a new awards program honoring those who are truly bold in the private brand space. Please reach out if you're interested in that. And then we'll close the year as we always do with our State of the Industry event, December 19th. Very good. So if you'd like to attend, exhibit, or sponsor, please reach out. The first three events are available for tickets right now. I'm happy to talk to anybody about exhibiting and sponsoring. So love to hear from you. So the State of the Industry research, this is our second year to do it. The research is run by our friends at Voci, so they do a great job of really speaking to the industry and the consumer and helping us make sure we do the research correctly. Thank you, Gail. Who did we talk to? We talked to 121 private brand, retailer-owned brand professionals. We use the phrase retailer-owned brand because If you listen to Kroger, if you listen to Target, they say owned brand. Well, owned brand's a little generic. In order to really hone in on it, for us, we say retailer owned brand, or where appropriate, Kroger owned brand, Publix owned brand, so forth. But it's what we have traditionally called private brand, private label. The research was fielded October 26th through November 14th, so it's very current, and hopefully you had an opportunity to fill it out. Respondents, we had a good percentage of executive level respondents, with 21% at the VP level or higher, 30% at the director level or higher, and 25% at the CEO, president, owner. This is the entire retailer owned brand industry. Retailers, absolutely. I'll show you the breakout there. Manufacturers, agencies, research firms, anybody who is involved in the industry was included in this research. You can see how the breakout is, direct responsibility. So some are shared responsibility. Director responsibility was the primary goal. That's what we want. We want to actually be talking to the people who are doing the work in the industry. Company type, retailer is the predominant number with 30+% there. Manufacturers step down, and then agencies. When we look at retailer-owned retail channels that they were involved in, now they had the opportunity to pick more than one. If you were a manufacturer who sold into grocery and Walmart and drug, you could have selected some of these. The numbers don't add up to 100, but obviously grocery being the largest channel, dominated with mass convenience and online coming right in behind, and with club. The first thing we did was talk to them a little bit about the economy. What is your company's current economic situation? If you haven't answered the poll on the right-hand side, click on the poll button. You can answer. There's a very similar question to this. You can see when we look at this, doing very well or doing fine is the predominant piece of it. So 58.7%. People are feeling pretty good, but there's still those stragglers on the other end. You got 0.5%. I think that's only a couple of folks that are in crisis. So we like to see that. And the blue bar being 2023, it's gone down. Comparison of the economic situation in 2020. How are you feeling 2023 versus 2022? 1.1% said much worse, very small number. Slightly better than a year ago, 46.10%. We're feeling a little bit better about the economy and what's going on. We'll see through some other numbers. There's still a bit of anxiety, but we're feeling better about it. The impact of the economic situation on retailer-owned brands. The prevailing wisdom is a bad economy is good for private label, and that's pretty much what we're seeing here. The respondents believe. How will the economy impact private brand, retailer-owned brand? They're saying it's going to get a little better. And you see the numbers have shifted to 2023, 2022. 2023 projected 2-year investment in retailer-owned brands. Where are you going to actually spend money? Across the board, you'll see it's pretty even. They're going to maintain was up 5.3%, moderately increased down 11.1%. Not so great there. Significantly increased was up 5.3%. Again, we're floating in the middle. How do we feel? What do we think? Are we hiring? In the next 12 months, will you be hiring? 50.7% said, yes, I will be hiring. 21.1% said they were completely unsure, but maybe. And 28.8% said no. Let's talk about the retailer-owned brands. 76.4% said retailer-owned brands are extremely important or very important to your organization, which was down just a smidge from 2022 at 80%. When you dive a little deeper into those numbers, don't get too panicky. That's not all retailers talking about it. We've had some more manufacturers, some more agencies, some more brokers come in who are doing other things other than private brands. It's not a surprise you see that number adjust a little bit. 20% penetration dollar share. As Mary Ellen and from Circana gets up, she'll probably say a slightly lower number than this. This is the number that when we asked, this was the average number that you guys said. So 20%. I always suspect it's a bit higher than that because not everybody counts private brand the same way, but it's hard to say. Expected change in average retailer-owned brand dollar share over the next 12 months. You see moderate growth really dominates the number there, in the green bar being the 2023 number. So they see more growth coming, and it's really flat from last year. They're pretty optimistic. How effective is your current retailer-owned brand portfolio? This is where we begin to see, ooh, there's opportunities for us to do better. And when we talk about brand portfolio in this place, it's the actual brands, it's not the products. It's how is Simple Truth and Kroger, or how is Publix and Greenwise and the whole group of them doing? Are they positioned correctly? Are they speaking to the customer? Are they helping to differentiate? Products is a slightly different conversation, but they see there's opportunity. Now, you see there's still a few popping in at very ineffective and somewhat ineffective. There's opportunities. This is probably where we'll see brand redesigns, maybe even portfolio reinventions over the next few years. How far along are you in retailer-owned brand development as a key point of differentiation? We know over the last 10, 20 years, right, we've been really good at building an industry that creates NBE, that creates copies of things. Well, to actually create differentiation, that private brand, that retailer-owned brand development has to be along the way. We have to learn more muscle sets, more skills than just mimicry. It's adjusted. They're not quite as positive as they were in 2022. So well along the way, 55.7% in 2022, and they're a little less optimistic with 41.5%, but it's moved into that mid range. Fortunately, the bottom tier, the early stages of it really didn't adjust. It's really, are we being more optimistic? Are we being more hopeful? Or are we just being more realistic? When we begin to ask questions and ask retailers specifically to rate themselves on the things they're doing and how they rate, of course, it's across all retailers. So you get everybody from a small local chain to a giant national player. You begin to see that in general, whether it be insights and trends, product innovation, packaging innovation, e-commerce, supplier retailer collaboration, and brand management, you're looking at about a C. It's not a huge surprise that as we have begun to move from NBE to NBE plus innovation and differentiation, that we're not where we want to be. And this is clearly reflecting that. When we looked at reasons for growth, we think, and the real question there, what do you think is going to cause that growth? In 2023, 62% of the folks said an increased focus by retailers spending more time, more money, more energy actually growing their private brands is what's going to make growth happen. That number's down almost 10 points from last year. It's not quite as bullish as it was. The economic conditions continue to be a driving factor. 67.6% in 2022, 66% in 2023. More effective messaging around price and value, 6%. That whole price value message, while necessary, isn't seen as the individual growth driver for private brands here. Additional SKUs, of course, more SKUs, more sales, you're going to get more growth. It goes right along with increased focus by retailers. Customer awareness, 36% in growth. It's interesting as we talk about customer awareness, it's easy for customers to be aware of traditional private brands if the retailer's name is on the pack and they know it's a private brand. It's a lot harder when it says something else, when it says Simple Truth, when it says Greenwise, you name it, for customers to know what that is. So in many cases, those brands, when we do research, actually score as national brands and not private brands. Customer awareness is an intriguing piece. The ability to connect that brand then to the retailers, unlocking that differentiation that they really need to be able to do. And finally, 46% with product innovation and differentiation, giving shoppers a reason to come to my store versus just a price play on a copy of something else is seen as a key factor in the growth. Biggest challenges, not a huge surprise. There's challenges here. Supply chain has calmed down a little bit. Last year, 64.8% of the folks said supply chain issues were a huge challenge. It wasn't a big surprise coming out of COVID. We all remember toilet paper and detergent and you name it having real issues. And although there continues to be some, it's not as much of a point of concern. Pricing pressures at 58%, down a little bit, but still continue to be a concern for folks. Conservative decision making, it's that we're going to hang in the back, and are we ready to really grow private brand and commit to it, or are we going to just keep the boat afloat question? 36.2% still continue to believe that there's some opportunity and a challenge in getting true leadership buy-in and active support. So not just in the boardroom without opening the door, but having your CEO, your president stand up and say, retailer-owned brands are important, our brands are important, and then backing it up with the resources that are needed. Trading partner relationships has dramatically moved up at 37.7%. It's how do we build those partnerships that really help us do the things to grow. And honestly, when you read the verbatims on some of these, it's not that, although partnerships in general is absolutely what they're concerned about, they're also concerned about whether or not their partners, their manufacturers, have the skill sets to be able to do what needs to be done as they look at more innovation and differentiation, because the industry was built on copying things. Industry consolidation that feeds right into manufacturing is the concern is down a good bit. And of course, quickly changing consumer preferences. There's so many things going on right now with both the economy, with flavors, with immigration, that they really want to make sure they stay up on it, and becomes less and less. And of course, e-commerce issues or presence continues to be a nagging concern, but at 11.6%, they're not stopping their business to learn it. What's the most important tactic to retailer-owned brands for the future? So number one, launching new products. Now, this comes directly from them, from the verbatims. We've culled it all together to give you some insight on it. Number two, working with suppliers to optimize price and availability. Number three, better communicating price value in categories, speaking to the customers and saying, hey, price value, this is a great product at a great price. Not necessarily a cheap product, but a great product at a great price. Number four, building consumer relevant brands. And brands being the key word, not just products. Those brands are the things that help people build relationships, that help people say, I love the new Mercado at Kroger. I love Aldi's new brand of Hispanic products, you name it. Collaborating with manufacturers and suppliers to innovate. So collaboration is the hardest thing. Everybody talks about it, but everybody wants to do it. And they're saying that as well. Improving packaging. When you dive a little deeper into that, it also has an element of sustainability, but it's how do we make sure that the packaging is what it needs to be, both structure and design. Boosting marketing and promotion. There's a lot of energy in this space around social media and how it can be used effectively or used at all for some retailers and manufacturers. Improving consumer insights and trends intelligence, fearlessness and decision-making strategies, or as we like to say, being bold, and of course, expanding the offerings in e-commerce. We asked a little bit about packaging and what was really the priorities for retailers and manufacturers. So sustainability, effective branding, on-pack transparency, and distinct design. Sustainability, if you haven't been to our sustainability summit, we just did our third year of it, or fourth year of it. The first two were virtual. And it's the conversation that is going to have to happen. And if you think, I don't need to be sustainable, this is the conversation that's going to change the way we do business. And no matter where you are on your journey, you need to be part of the conversation. And much of that early on is about efficiency. Sustainability is key in that. Effective branding and distinct design, kind of hand in hand. How do I stand on pack, stand as a unique entity that's design and packaging helps to differentiate great products? And then, of course, on-pack transparency. And that ranges from, do I have the recycling logo on it, to are my eggs free range? Making sure that consumers know there's a point of difference on that pack, and then giving them the information that they're looking for. Let's talk a little bit about supplier partnerships. Trust level in retailer, manufacturers, and suppliers survival and partnership. This is where it gets exciting, right? So the highest level of trust or confidence sits over there at 45.6, 45, and then it steps down. Orange being 2023, they've all gone down just a little bit. Low level's gone up just a little bit. It's wavering. This is something we've got to continue to work on, and this chart just reinforces that. How important is retailer supplier collaboration? 96.8% is the top two box scores. Really not important at all is 0. Fairly unimportant is 3%. There's a lot of people saying in order to be better and grow and do what we need to do, we have to be able to have great collaboration. And honestly, I don't know that anyone really believes they understand what that means yet, but they know it's got to happen. There's a lot of software tools out there trying to help, but by and large, it's going to be about relationships. The important tactics to building those strategic supplier partnerships: increased collaboration to develop solutions, 75.4%. How do we actually work together to develop those solutions? Improving transparency in relationships and agreements. Hey, a little more information is always a good thing. Having more open and honest conversations, engaging more closely with existing suppliers, moving from strictly a procurement model of a relationship to something that's actually ongoing, longer term commitments, actively pursuing new supplier relationships, and focusing on possible crisis management has really dropped down at 18%. Last year, it was significantly higher. What are the biggest concerns related to retailer owned brands in the next 1 to 2 years? Supply chain, economic pressures, inflation, no surprise there between multiple foreign wars, the economy, a presidential race coming up. There's things that are going to impact the way we're doing our business. Pricing and cost issues, retailers slowing down or becoming complacent. It's that let's just keep the boat afloat question. A lack of boldness. I love this is the first time bold's actually come in this research. It's the word we like to use a lot, but it's that place where retailers take the stand and say, we have an opportunity to win here and we're going to be bold about it. And finally, the failure to innovate. The biggest concerns: number one, brand investments. Can retailers actually embrace their brands and invest appropriately, whether it be in people, product, software, marketing, you name it? Innovation, they just need to step up and do something different. And innovation being more than just a flavor change, it has to be something that consumers actually notice. E-commerce continues to be a concern. It's just that nagging back end of we have to be a part of the change and the growth. So to wrap it all up, it's a good year, slightly better year than last year. In many ways, we still see the industry as in between, as that kind of C-level grade, but we're getting better. There's opportunity and there's anxiety, right? The anxiety being, how do we grow? What does the economy look like? What are the wars? What happens with the wars and so forth? It leaves a lot of opportunity to grow and change. Finally, out of all of this, what we believe is that for 2024 to be a successful year, to show growth, and 25, 26, 27, and so forth, to continue to do that, then this is where we have to be. We have to, as a private brand industry, commit to grow. Stop asking permission and start growing. Take advantage of manage brands as brands, which means taking responsibility for them from concept to shelf, right? It means owning the relationship with our shoppers and our customers. It means bravely defining innovation. What does it mean for each retailer, each channel? And sticking to your guns and really working to be innovative. It means stop talking and start listening. We all say we're customer focused. We all say we want to be partners. We all say we need collaboration, but most of us are saying it and we're not doing it. We're not listening to our shoppers. We're not listening to our manufacturers, to our agencies, or whoever. And we've got to stop and do that. Listen, discover mutual growth, mutual change, mutual innovation. And finally, tell the story of what we're doing, whether it be our brands, our innovation, our sustainability. Tell the shopper, tell the manufacturer, tell our partners what exactly is going on. And the opportunity to do that is truly exciting.